We are going to let the faculty continue marching in, and then we will have our national anthem. We have a lot of faculty here. It's a cinch one of your professors is here. Seek them out and tell them how much you like them. Recognize our Army ROTC Color Guard for the presentation of the colors. And now I'd like to welcome Bernardo Medeiros to come forward and for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good job, fantastic. Please be. Well, I want to welcome everybody to this year's convocation. It's fantastic to have you here. I would like to recognize the administrators, our deans, as well as all of the many faculty that showed up. Would you please stand up and be recognized? Thank you for coming. My name is Burns Hargis, and I'm privileged to serve as president of Oklahoma State University, the best darn university in the country. It's also my privilege to welcome you, the class of 2019. And I'm sure you'll be the best class we've ever had. We want to welcome all of you to the community of scholars here at OSU, where we search for knowledge and truth and share it with our state, the nation, and the world. You're certainly one of the largest classes we've ever had. In fact, you are the second largest freshman class in the history of Oklahoma State University. And that history is 125 years old this year. So you're coming to Oklahoma State in its 125th year, and I know you'll do it proud. I want to tell you a little something about your class. There's 4,173 of you. There are 66% of the class of you that are from Oklahoma, but 34% are from out of state. Let's hear from our out-of-state students. Now let's hear from our Oklahoma students. All right. Now let's hear from all the cowboys at Oklahoma State. That's all of you. There we go. That's fantastic. We have 42 states that are represented in this class. All 50 states are represented at the university, as well as 120 countries. And you're going to have to study, because there's 332 valedictorians, almost 1,000 who were in the top 10% of their class, and 700 who graduated from high school with a 4.0 grade average. So don't slack. You've got competition. We have asked some of our outstanding students at OSU to provide you with some advice so you can get started on the right foot and how to succeed in academics, leadership, and service. So let's take a look at a student video.
Something that every new OSU student should know would be the Office of Multicultural Affairs, because without a doubt, looking at it in the way that I started and the way that my life took me, that was the foundation of where I met the coordinators and the future mentors that pushed me to meet other mentors that eventually, domino effect, put me where I am today.
I love being a part of the OSU community. One of my first big things that I did here on campus was I was the OSU tour guide. So I know the ins and outs, the ups and downs. I know everything about OSU, and it really just kind of builds an even larger pride within you. I love that it's a family aspect. I wouldn't be here if it weren't. I know that Southern traditions play a part in it, but also OSU has its own vibe. It has its own positive environment, and it's really just a great place to grow and to learn, and it truly is a family. I don't think that's just a saying that we picked. I really believe that it's a cowboy family.
To incoming students, I would tell them to find their passions and dive into those things. Don't join something because you want to build your resume. I did that freshman year. I made a mistake, and I was overwhelmed but not passionate about anything. And so definitely find those passions, and also get to know people. You're going to be in college with these people for the next 4 years, and the relationships you build now are going to be the relationships you look back on when you come back for homecoming and you meet up with them. And so definitely find your passions, but then connect with others and just really network and get to know the people you're at college with, because they're in the same boat as you, and they're here for the same reason as you, and so you can really bond over those things.
The actual cowboy aspect of it, and I think it's always fun that, not even to play it up on the orientation aspect of it, but I always love listening to Kyle Ray when he talks about it. He always talks about, hey, now that you're a cowboy, the first thing that he talks about is it stands for integrity. And it has been fun that, in helping out with Welcome Week last week, I got to hear it again. And so, there's always so many things going on when you first get here that I think you don't really take everything that you hear really serious, because there's always so much. But last year, going into my senior year, to kind of realize that, and realize, hey, as a cowboy now, it's about integrity. It's about kind of that land-grant institution. All those things kind of come into play, that it's no longer, hey, you know, 2 weeks now I'm going to be a college graduate. It's like, yes, you are going to be that, but you also are coming into a community. You're also going to learn. You're also going to build yourself. And so I think it's a humbling experience to just know I'm, you know, one of the grateful ones that overcame obstacles. I'm actually graduating from college, but even after that, to be a Cowboy and to be an OSU alum, it's just the next step in being an OSU Cowboy, I think.
Don't quit. There's plenty of moments that you'll be faced in your college career where you're faced with a challenge or an obstacle and you know, just, I can't go on anymore. You know, if it's a paper that's due at midnight and you haven't started and it's 10 p.m. or the fact that you want to throw yourself in maybe your sorority or fraternity and in your studies, as well as wanting to have a social life, and it all can get overwhelming. But I would like to tell those students, don't give up and remember what you're here for. You know, you're here to get your education and graduate and walk across that stage and shake the president's hand. So all of the being involved is great, but you know, never lose sight of your degree and what you're really here for.
Don't let anybody define you. You can't get your self-worth by asking other people's opinion. What do you think of me? You need to already know what you think of yourself and believe in yourself and enough to challenge yourself to your limit and be able to realize your potential.
Dr. Steve Harris. That man is one of the strongest men I have ever met, and being a McKnight, and I'm a McKnight mentor as well, which is an honor to me. I think it's amazing that I get to be a part of such an incredible group. That man, he really showed me what it's like to just be a leader and to be a strong person. I could talk to him about anything, and he really is the person who kind of put me on the path to what I said earlier, like finding yourself and to being the best person you can be in order to help other people be the best person they can be.
Somehow, some way, get plugged in. I have been a part of a lot of things at Oklahoma State, and I like to get plugged in a lot of places. But find that one thing that you really, really enjoy and get plugged in, meet the people, and experience the community that is so great here. Work hard, but also play hard too. When people say these are the best 4 years of your life, they really mean it, because you have less responsibility than you'll ever have when you get in the workforce. You may not have an 8 to 5 schedule. So remember to play hard at the same time as working hard, getting to know all the people around you, and really experiencing this community.
Have faith in yourself, and with that faith you'll be able to excel in your classes. With that faith you'll be able to have the courage to talk to your professor. With that faith you'll never be afraid of what's coming next, because if you have that faith, then you'll be prepared for anything that comes your way.
We are so fortunate as students, and our generation is so fortunate because of what we've been given. We have such an amazing campus, amazing staff, amazing opportunities and support that we need to realize and appreciate and take advantage of. And that makes me excited to give back into the future. Give back to something that's given me so much, and so to be a part of something that's so great and so much bigger than just individuals is awesome.
When you come to college, you're thrown in such a big place, and at one point in time everybody looks the same until you figure out how to get yourself to distinguish and become unique. And for me, it's like I always picture it as being a needle thrown in a haystack, and I do not like being amongst the average where you all look the same. I like to be very impactful and to distinguish myself, to be a woman who's unique, while helping other people do the same. So I always encourage students who come in, like what I do now with my freshman mentor. I tell them to figure out some way to put your value on this campus, so that when you leave, your footsteps are seen.
OSU community to me is more family. The Cowboy family, I know we have that here. And to be a part of it has not become sentimental to me until now. And being an upperclassman, I didn't realize the comfort and the bond that the Cowboy family really has. Just knowing I'm leaving in the next year, it makes you realize that that support system is there for a lifetime, and that wherever I am, whether it's coming back to campus as an alum or being somewhere else in the nation, somebody that's a part of the Cowboy family, that closeness and that bond is there.
Okay, well, let's give that a hand. Another very important characteristic of this class that I think is important to know is it's one of the most diverse classes in our history. 30% of our students are diverse students, and you saw some on our video there. Now, we have some real live advice for you. It's not all taped. And I'm going to introduce Chris Stockton, who just graduated this past spring on this very floor with 2 bachelor's degrees in finance and business management. While at OSU, Chris was a member of the President's Leadership Council, active in the OSU Sustainability, an executive member and the senator for the Student Government Association, as well as coordinator for the Freshman Representative Council. You wonder when he had time to get 2 degrees. As executive director of Dance Marathon for the past 2 years, Chris led the group to its position as the largest philanthropic student organization, raising over $134,000 for Oklahoma Children's Hospital. He's a top 10 freshman, which is no surprise, an outstanding senior, that isn't either, and the 2013 Philanthropist of the Year. Please welcome Chris Stockton.
Thank you, President Hargis. And I don't think he gets enough applause, so can we get a big round of applause for President Hargis here? You guys will find out that he's actually one of the funniest people at OSU. Very dry sense of humor. He's awesome. So thank you, President Hargis, for that intro. I do appreciate it. So I know you guys, you're excited to be here, right? College is about to start in, what, a couple days? It's like 48 hours away. We excited for that? School's about to start? Okay, that's what you are not cheering for. I understand that. That's okay. But it does. It gives me great pleasure to stand in front of you guys today in historical Gallagher-Iba Arena and welcome you as official Cowboys. I even have a brother among you guys this year. I won't point him out, but if I were to, he's right here on the front row. His name's Ben. So everyone say hi, Ben. So I do have a real-life connection with your class as well, that my brother's going to be going through it. So I wish you guys the best. But I can absolutely promise you that becoming a part of this Cowboy family, and we're not going to say part of this college, but becoming a part of this Cowboy family is going to be one of the best decisions you're ever going to make in your life. Over the next 4 years, or 5, or maybe 6, you will meet people completely different than you that inspire you to be better. You experience the highest amounts of excitement, maybe off a winning buzzer beater right here on this court, a big touchdown to win a game, or maybe even just acing a test. You'll get the chance to do things that impact people's lives in a way that you never imagined. And best of all, you will grow as a person, a scholar, and a Cowboy. So throughout my 4 years at OSU, I was able to meet a lot of people and accomplish a few things. And because of this, I was very fortunate to pick up a couple of nuggets of wisdom that I want to share with you today. So I don't want to scare you and tell you that there are 13 of these things, but there are 13 of these things I want to share with you today, but I promise it'll go by quick. So I do encourage you that, I do know that you guys haven't even started school yet, but a lot of these things, I really hope that you take it to heart and try and remember these, because I can absolutely promise you that every one will come into play throughout the next 4 years of your time here. So the first one is don't live in your dorm room. So technically, do live in your dorm room. We really hope you stay there. That's what it's for. But don't spend 24/7 there. I had a friend my freshman year, so it is weird being a graduate now, so this was 5 years ago. But she was incredibly smart. She had a 4.0 coming into college, and it was all due to the fact that she studied nonstop all the time. So after our freshman year, she didn't come back to OSU. She actually transferred home, and she went to community college. And so you might be asking yourself, what happened? Why did this happen? She was a great student. She had a 4.0. She aced all of her classes. But it was exactly for that she did nothing else except that. She wasn't invested in anything in school, and she didn't get a whole lot of enjoyment out of OSU because she didn't have that connection. So I can absolutely promise you that if all you do is study all the time and all you do is live in your dorm and look at books, you are not going to have a meaningful experience at OSU. So number 2 is find your niche. So this one really plays off of number 1. So you might be saying, okay, so I need to get out of my dorm room. How do I do that? So this one is big that you will soon find out, if you haven't already at Welcome Week, that there are literally thousands of things to do here at OSU. There are over 450 student groups. We have intramurals. We have leadership and philanthropy, as you guys can hopefully tell that was something I fell in love with. But the great thing about it is my passion for serving others and always being involved is not like a whole lot of people. Just in fact, there's probably only a few of you in here that have that same amount of passion for leadership and philanthropy that I do. And the best part about that is that's 100% okay. That's what makes OSU so great. It's just as President Hargis talked about with diversity, that's what makes OSU one of the best universities in the nation, is because all of you bring something different to the table. And that's why we're really glad that you're here. So with the 4,300 of you, there's going to be a lot of things to get involved in. There's leadership, there's philanthropy, there's involvement within your college, there's res life and Greek life, there's tutoring, there's singing, there's performing, there's studying abroad, and there's so much more. And there truly is something for every single person out there. And hopefully, like I said, you were able to find that this week, but there's going to be many more opportunities to find out those things and to get involved. So number 3, we're going to all look over here at the faculty, and I'm going to encourage you to take the hard professors. So as a student, you are going to hear a lot of times that, hey, you know, this professor is way easier than that one, or this one's way harder than that one. So first, I do want to tell you that that's all a personal preference. Some you might get into it and be like, what was that person talking about? They're really hard, and that's going to happen. But I can tell you that a lot of the quote-unquote easier professors that I had, I didn't really get to take a whole lot of knowledge out of that. But I can guarantee you that if you were to ask me something right now about one of the hard professors that I had, I could tell you that because I was forced to pay attention, I was forced to learn. And especially being a graduate and within your coming years of college, that's going to be very helpful. So I really do encourage you to take those hard professors and learn all that you can. And number 4, to roll off of that, is to get to know your professors in administration. Something that I didn't realize that they can probably all attest to is that when recruiters come to town, which hopefully we're all here to get a job, right? The parents are shaking their heads saying that's what I'm paying for them to do. But so what I didn't realize is that a lot of these faculty members, they actually get to meet with a lot of the job recruiters that come into town. They have lunch with them on career fair days, and they tell them all the students that stick out within their classes. Like I said, I didn't know this till a couple semesters ago. So there's your first thing, that if you don't listen to anything else today, know that your professors have a big part in a lot of the different jobs that you can get. And so I'm not saying to get to know them just so they could pay off in the long run, but they can share so much more knowledge inside and outside the classroom with you. So I really encourage you to get to know them. And also get to know your administration. People like Dr. Sandifer, our provost, and Professor Hargis. I've had the awesome opportunity to get to know them during my time here. And it's great coming back to things like this that we get to interact just right from that initial point. So number 5 is you guys are going to hear a lot that college goes by really fast. Has everyone already heard that? Who's heard that so far? College goes by fast, make the most of it. A couple of hands, okay. You guys are going to hear that probably 1,000 times more. And so when I heard that a lot my freshman year, I always asked myself, okay, so all you people are telling me it goes by fast, what am I supposed to do about it? You don't tell me that, do you? And so something that I would encourage you to do, that hopefully this might answer that a little bit, is that when there is a chance that you have to grow in any aspect or learn something from anyone, that's how you can make it go by slow. Is every single opportunity that you get, every single day that you have to learn something new and to interact with someone, that's how you're going to take it every day as it comes, and you're not going to graduate and now be like me 3 months out of school and be like, I just remember when I was literally sitting in your guys' seat. And so that's one of those ways that you can slow college down, is start meeting every person in this room. Start interacting. Start doing every opportunity that you can do to really slow down college and make the most of it. Number 6 is you don't need a set plan for college. I started off my college career when I was sitting in your guys' chair as a pre-medicine student. And as President Hargis just mentioned, I ended up graduating with 2 degrees in business. So you kind of say, when did that change? And so that's the thing, is that whatever you started with, You don't necessarily have to finish. But here's the thing, that you do need to remember why you're here and the cost that it takes for you to be here. So there are a lot of people in this room that their parents are going to be paying for it, their grandparents, or even students in here that are working their way through college to pay for that. And even if you're on scholarships, you do have to realize that someone sees value enough in you to invest thousands of dollars. So you owe it to those people and yourself to get an education and to hopefully do that in about 4 years to save them a few $1,000s down the road. So number 7 is act in a way that is consistent with your identity. So the fantastic thing about college, as you guys are probably starting to realize, is that it's a fresh start. It's a chance for you to be whoever you want to be. But I encourage you to do the things that people know you and associate you with. So if you want to be known as lazy, then be lazy. If you want to be known for your leadership, then lead. But don't expect that you can be lazy and be known as a leader, because it's just not going to happen. So in a nutshell, really you need to love what you do and do what you love. And know that whatever you're going to invest your time in, that's how people are going to see you. So number 8 is know that you can learn something from every single person every single day. So once you get to the point that you meet someone and you tell yourself that there is nothing that you can learn from them, you will fail. And I can guarantee you of that. And so you need to know that there is truly something to learn from everyone. And even if you meet someone and you realize, man, that was a waste of time, then you know, I know how to handle myself during a waste of time conversation now, and that will actually play out sometimes. But just know that you can learn something from every single person. So number 9 is know that moments of weakness are actually moments of obedience. So there will 100% be a time in college, maybe a friendship, a test grade, or a missed assignment that you're going to have that weak moment. And I could truly go on and on about all the opportunities that are come that you're going to have a moment of weakness. But you need to realize that in that time of failure is actually a test time. And so within that test, if you can be obedient and learn from that, the better off you're going to be. And so the more mistakes that you make now and you're obedient and you learn from those, the less mistakes you're going to make in the future. So you have to keep that in mind during those times of weaknesses. So number 10, we're almost to 13, I promise. I see some people dozing off. Number 10 is call your mom. And so you're going to hear this a lot too, but I can't tell you how important this is. So once you graduate, so think about it, at the start of college now, everyone's telling you it's going to go by fast, all these things are going to happen. Fast forward 4 or 5 years when you graduate, a lot of people are going to ask you, hey, what was your biggest regret in college? What is something you could do over again? And absolutely my biggest regret was not spending enough time with my family. So when I was in college, I was only about 2 hours from home, and I never went home. I think my first semester, I maybe went home once. And now that I moved, I actually live in Houston, Texas, and I live 8 hours away. So I don't have that. I can't go home any weekend that I want. I can't go see family. And so that is my number one regret, is that while I was so close to family, I didn't spend as much time as I could. So if it doesn't do anything else for you except put a smile on your mom or dad's face to call them once a week, that's a success enough. You need to do that. Number 11 is find an older person to invest in you. So the beautiful thing about this is there's so many juniors, sophomores, freshmen, or even, I guess, older freshmen, but seniors that they're there and they want to invest in you. You might be intimidated to go up to them and ask and say, hey, do you mind being a mentor for me? Do you mind, showing me? They might be in the same major. They might be in the same fraternity, sorority, or club. You need to reach out to them and ask for their help. I can promise you that they're going to be very willing and actually very excited to help you. They want to do that. And so a personal story with that is my freshman year, I asked a senior to invest in me. And so once a week we met up. He introduced me to a lot of really cool people. And by the time I got to a junior, he was actually one of the recruiters for the company I now work for. So before the recruiting team even came down, I already knew him. He knew my work ethic. He knew how well I worked with others. And so I already had that advantage above everyone else before they even met anyone. And so that's a great thing that you need to start realizing, is as soon as you start to get to know these juniors and these seniors, by the time you're looking for a job, they're actually going to be the ones that are recruiting. So that's a little advice that now all of you have. So to test who actually is going to take advantage of that, we'll see. But I look forward to recruiting you guys soon. Just kidding. Guys, we got to laugh a little bit. Come on. This is funny. I heard a fake laugh, too. I was expecting that. So there's real laughs. There we go. So number 12 is respect will get you so much farther than any GPA, any resume, or any connection. Respect is a must in order to succeed. And I truly can't tell you how true this is. Having a good GPA is great, don't get me wrong. It puts you at the top of the list. But when you respect those around you, they're going to want you on their team no matter what, because then they're going to know that whatever you do, you're going to represent them in a respectful way. And that's something that truly trumps having a good GPA or having well connections. And number 13, the last one, is very important: to be a learner, have the goals of a leader, and the attitude of a servant. Learn in everything that you do. It's contagious to have that desire to learn, and it shows your admiration to grow, which will get you far in life. Set big goals to be a leader. This can be a leader in anything, maybe just within your friend group. You don't have to go out and be, the leader of the largest organization, but just whatever you do, try and be a leader in that and have that mindset. And have the attitude of a servant through all this. This is an attribute that will get noticed by many and will humble you in ways that you can't imagine. So like I said, I know that you guys haven't even started school yet, but I hope that at least one of these will pay off to you in the long run, and it would be incredible if all 13 did. I wish you guys the best of luck over the next 4 years, and go Pokes.
Way to go, Chris. And I have number 14, which is when we have snow and I don't close school, don't send mean tweets about me. That's great. I now want to introduce a very important individual who is actually the head of our academic efforts here at Oklahoma State, and that's Dr. Gary Sandefur. Dr. Sandefur joined us about a little over a year ago from the University of Wisconsin, where he was both dean and a tenured professor for almost 30 years. The robes that he wears recognize his PhD from Stanford. And we're very glad to have him here and see that a guy that went to OU could see the light and come to Oklahoma State University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chief of our academic activities, our provost, Gary Sandefur.
Thank you, President Hargis. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak with you today. As Provost of Oklahoma State University, one of my responsibilities is to ensure that your academic experience is of the highest possible quality. To do this, I work with the deans and the vice presidents and the faculty that you see here and other faculty who aren't able to join us today to ensure that you have access to the best faculty in higher education, well-trained teaching assistants, research, study abroad, and other opportunities outside the classroom, and the opportunity to excel as a student and as a person. But your success here involves a partnership between you and the institution. Your success here is as dependent on your attitudes and actions as it is what we have to offer you. So I want to share with you from the perspective of the faculty and the administration 5 things to think about as you begin your career as a freshman here at Oklahoma State University. First, start studying after convocation. Tonight would be a good time to get started. You will find that you will do more work and have a lot more reading than you had in high school. I'm really being honest about this. One common freshman mistake is to put things off until you are so far behind that you cannot catch up in time for the first exam or when the first major assignment is due in your class. Enjoy the social aspects of being at a university, meeting new people from around the world, learning more about the Texans among you. Could the Texans raise their hands? So pick out a Texan and go say hello to them after the convocation. And the Texans can learn more about the Okies. Enjoy the pageantry of OSU athletics, events at the student union, Greek life if that's for you, and other forms of engagement with your fellow students. But remember, this is not a resort. It may look and feel like one for a while, for a few weeks, but your professors have very high expectations of you, and they expect you to deliver. You have to find the right balance between a healthy social life and a life of a scholar. Number 4, do not be afraid to ask for help. If you don't understand something in class, ask someone. If you don't understand how to use technological or other resources in the library, ask someone. We have a writing center and a math learning center. One of the keys to success in college and life in general is the willingness to ask for help. It is not a sign of weakness, it is a strength. And believe me, I ask for help from people on almost a daily basis. So if the provost can ask for help, you can ask for help. And finally, buy a lot of brightest orange for yourself, wear it with pride, and give it to your families and friends for holidays, birthdays, and any occasion. Thank you for listening, and go Pokes! It's my honor to introduce the next student speaker. Leslie Farias is a senior majoring in nutritional sciences and allied health. She is applying for physician's assistant school following her graduation in May 2016. Leslie participated in RISE her freshman year and became part of the Inclusion Leadership Program her sophomore year to mentor first-generation students like herself on the transition from high school to college. She became a Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute United Health Foundation Scholar her junior year, allowing her to serve as a medical intern at an underserved community clinic. Leslie is secretary to the Free Physician Assistant Club, and she is currently serving her 3rd year as a resident advisor. Please help me welcome Leslie.
Thinking back at the past 3 years leaves me speechless because the experience given to me by OSU is a sum of opportunities I could have never imagined. The moment I was accepted, OSU made a commitment to my future by believing in me more than I believed in myself. Beginning my time at OSU, I thought it would be difficult to make everybody proud. I thought I might have some of the limitations I faced in high school, and the fear of being a disappointment plagued me. The truth is, at OSU, there are no limitations. For the first time, only people that really cared about my success and my future surrounded me. The paradigm shift in my character can be attributed to the examples set by the wonderful faculty, advisors, and students at OSU. Before attending OSU, I could have never imagined that I would be a science major, considering I did less than average in high school chem. Because of our sincere professors, I can honestly say it's not my best subject and I'm a few hours short of a chemistry minor. I've had the chance to do research with one of my favorite professors, realize my passion for serving others, and discover that practicing medicine was not just a childhood fantasy, but a reality. I could have never envisioned myself going into healthcare, yet here I am preparing to send in my applications for physician's assistant school. My OSU experience has given me goals, priorities, and above all, the education necessary to achieve them. When I made the decision to come to OSU, I was afraid because all of my friends had made the decisions to go to other schools. Up until the day I toured, I would have followed my friends and not have gone down the path I was meant to be on. The morning of move-in day, I did not know a single person at OSU. I walked towards the door covered in How I Met Your Mother decorations with a couple of boxes in my hand. My RA opened the door, and before I could tell her my name, I blurted out, "I like How I Met Your Mother too," and I made my first friend. I was the girl that started out without knowing anybody, and now I can proudly say I've got a family in my class of 4,200. Your first year here is important because it's the time where you will meet the people you will keep in touch with for the rest of your life. I know this to be true because I actually talk to 200 of them on a daily basis, and there is no way some of us won't be bound for life. No matter what city, state, or country you're from, OSU is not complete without you. This is not a university with far-fetched displays of diversity on pamphlets attempting to portray inclusion. OSU is inclusion and diversity. If you do not believe me, see it for yourself when students from all nationalities, ethnicities, economic status, and religions lean into each other and lock arms after a cowboy victory to sing the unofficial OSU student anthem, "Friends in Low Places" by Garth Brooks. OSU creates a vibrant atmosphere beautifully contrasted against the Oklahoma sky. Each year, thousands of people work together in order to make America's biggest homecoming possible. This weekend celebration is a visual representation of the unity, pride, and loyalty that is present every day at OSU. So it was not surprising to students earlier this year when Forbes ranked us a top 10 college town, and we were also ranked as the happiest college campus. With the positivity that radiates from this school, there are sure to be opportunities to give each individual student the power to follow his or her dreams. Your experience at OSU depends on you. I have told my little brother before, who is also in the audience today as an incoming OSU freshman, there is no place where the saying, "You get what you give," is more true than in college. OSU is a place where you will learn more about yourself than you ever have before. Whether you're a student who has it all figured out, or a student like myself who was not quite sure what she wanted, OSU will expose you to experiences that will challenge and change who you are. It was on Welcome Week that I met my best friend. She's still by my side during all the hard times. It was by participating in Miss Hispanic OSU that I was able to reconnect with my heritage. It was sophomore year when I was given the chance to hear Michelle Obama speak. It was junior year when I was given the news my education would be paid for. And it was Dad's Day, when I could see how proud my parents were who were not able to attend college themselves. It is these collection of moments, as well as the tone set by OSU, that have made my OSU experience unforgettable. You're responsible for creating your own legacy at OSU. But that legacy will not mean anything to you unless you enjoy your time here. There is also no chance you will leave your mark at this institution if you do not work hard. Take Boone Pickens. His name is on the football stadium. Now that didn't happen because he did the bare minimum. It will not be easy, of course, but if you're committed, the long nights spent studying will be overshadowed by the chance at the basketball games. The dreadful walk to your big test will be brightened by the orange fountain, and the huddle of students during midnight pancakes at the Union will remind you that you are not in this alone. If you give OSU your all, it will give you the best years of your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. That was great. I want to mention a few housekeeping points that are important, and I want to say a couple of things. All students will receive an OU, no, not an OU, an OSU, well, not an OSU keychain as they exit convocation. I actually did that at my very first commencement and was booed off the stage. We want to invite all the students to attend the lawn party, the lawn right behind the classroom building. It'd be this side of the classroom building on the north side, for games, inflatables, free ice cream, and the Howdy Dance. I think that's where the hammock is as well. Anyway, following the lawn party is the Welcome Week concert. The doors open at 8 p.m. In Gallagher-Iber Arena. So enjoy all of that. I want to thank Chris and Leslie again. You know, I said this is the 125th year of OSU, and it is, but 126 years ago, on April 22nd, in 1889, just north of here, just north of Stillwater, one of the most historic events in the history of our country occurred. It was the Oklahoma Land Run. 50,000 people lined up that day and waited impatiently for noon, and the sound of the shotgun, which would signal a frantic race into the unassigned lands to claim a land for their new life. They couldn't know what to expect, but they were intent on bettering their lives. In many ways, today, you are like those pioneers, waiting for the sound, but not of a shotgun, but the library chimes, which will chime on Monday morning, announcing the start of the school year and your quest to earn a degree at Oklahoma State University. You've received a lot of good advice today, but in the end, it's up to you. You have to expect the unexpected, work hard, work smart, and stake your claim. You're cowboys now. You're all cowboys. And we're glad you're here. You're going to make this place better. Go Pokes. I didn't thank them coming in, but I want to be sure they will lead the recessional, the OSU bagpipes. Let's give them, they're standing right over here, and give them a hand. We will now sing the OSU alma mater, led by, again, Bernardo Medeiros. Bernardo?
Hey. This is custom. Get used to it.
Proud and immortal, bright shines your name, Oklahoma State, we herald your fame. Ever you'll find us loyal and true to